Da-da-da-da-dum. 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 Hi, huge movie fanatic Nate coming at you in July of 2015. Coming at you for the review, for the, I don't know if people were highly anticipating this or not, I sure as hell wasn't, sequel that you never thought would ever happen in 2015, with Arnold Schwarzenegger reprising his role as the famous T-101 or whatever the hell he is. I think that's what he is. In Terminator Genisys, what I, for the last year, ever since the title was revealed and the spelling of the title was revealed, I always call Terminator Genisys, because that's just what I see when I just look at the title. So now the movie, I went into the movie, I saw it actually on opening day for like $5. 2D of course, and on July 1st or whatever, and I went in there just like whatever, and like just whatever, closed mind, because I know it's gonna suck or whatever. I went in there with that attitude of this is gonna suck, just zero expectations. And I have to tell you, I was kind of surprised with the beginning of the movie, because in the very first Terminator movie, of course, we hear Kyle Reese's, like whatever, I can't remember exactly, but something to the effect of, we won. We smashed their defenses, their Skynets, whatever, and everything was down, the grid was down or whatever, and then, so anyway, long story short, it was kind of cool. At the beginning of the movie I kind of liked, when it was what we've always heard about since the first movie, Kyle Reese tells Sarah Connor, but we never get to see it, and for the first time, or at least, I haven't seen all of the Sarah Connor Chronicles or whatever, but for the first time in a movie anyway, we get to see it, which is cool, the actual, like, kind of end battle where Skynet's defeated, and just, Skynet just, like, right as Skynet's defeated or whatever, right before they managed to send back, of course, the classic T-101 into 1984 to, so as a last-ditch effort to win the battle, when Skynet knew they were going to lose, right before they lost, they sent back the T-101 to Griffith Observatory in 1984 to go hunt down and kill Sarah Connor, which would completely make their victory not even happen or whatever. So, long story short, I was kind of impressed, not blown away, but I kind of liked the beginning of the movie, the future stuff, when they, and they were battling the, this robots in the future, whatever, and they, whatever, and go down into the thing and the time travel thing. I mean, it's kind of, whatever. So I was like, oh shit, is this going to be like Jurassic World, where this is going to actually be good? And no, I'm afraid not, in my opinion. Like, for me, that's like the best part of the movie, like just the future stuff, actually seeing what we've only heard talked about in the first movie. And then in my opinion, once they get to, it's kind of like, this movie reminded me of just like the reboot of Star Trek in 2009 in a lot of ways, just alternate timelines and shit. And as a fan of just, obviously the first Terminator movie and stuff, I appreciated the very meticulous kind of, reimagining of, like, they actually cast, new people from what I can gather in these roles of, like, the guy, what the hell, in the Griffith Observatory, the dump truck driver. It's like, what the hell? And also the drunk was like, you seen a bright light? Which of course is just the performance is so lame in this new movie. But anyway, they, as a fan, kind of like with Texas Chainsaw 3D, interestingly enough, they kind of recreated some of the, the set pieces, or at least some of the, very brief set pieces that was showcased in the original Terminator movie. And as a kind of a geek fan, whatever, that was kind of cool to see. But after that, after that, it was just kind of like whatever. And I gotta tell you, I was in my trailer review, I was kind of, just making a big fuss and this and that, and just completely, shaking my head over the whole, old T-101 versus the, the T-101 that's sent back to kill Sarah at the Griffith Observatory. And they even recast, these three punks, and they tried to recreate that, or they recreated that scene. It was just so weird to see that on the big screen, like, that stuff recreated. But you know, actually, the way, you know, I thought it was going to be lame, but the rest of the movie, in my opinion, turns out to be so lame that one of the coolest things in the actual, like, 1984 time is the you know, the arrival of the, you know, T-101 to kill Sarah Connor, and then the older T-101 that apparently went back in time when Sarah was a little girl, which of course I, you know, deduced from the first trailer. They, you know, of course they've been waiting. I can't remember if they mentioned what year he arrived, if it was 74 or 2 or whatever. But of course they've been waiting. I've been waiting for you, and that's of course in the trailer, second trailer, one of the trailers or whatever. Anyway, I don't want to go on way too long. Long story short, you know, that's what I think of this movie. You know, kind of started off with some half-ass, you know, whatever potential, and just, in my opinion, just like, you know. And I'm going to repeat a lot of the stuff that I said in my second Terminator Genisys trailer review, which is very much, this movie does, you know, play like a movie that was written and directed by a Terminator, like a 11, 12-year-old Terminator fan, you know, who's got no sense of any kind of decent dialogue, you know, or any sense of, in my opinion, you know, even half-assed decent action directing. I mean, it's like a Saturday Night Live skit, you know, feature-length Saturday Night Live skit of Arnold, you know, pretending to be the Terminator from his classic Terminator movie years, you know. I mean, in my opinion, the Terminator has like 0% presence whatsoever, and as the Terminator, like his presence as the Terminator is so, it's not even, he's just there, he's just standing there. It's not even like, oh cool, he's so badass as the Terminator. It's just like, he's not badass anything, he's just standing there, he's dumb. And one of the things that I don't really appreciate in a lot of these post-Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger movies is, it seems like you're just waiting for it, eventually, you know, you're just waiting for it to happen, where it seems like in every one, or at least a lot, at least 2 of them at this point, you know, he's got to say the word old, you know, and even as a Terminator, he says old, like, I'm old, or so. I think he just says old. Like, there's this pathetic ass scene where it's like Sarah Connor's apparently a fan of the Ramones, and it's just like, there's this pathetic ass scene which, you know, is so lame, where it's like she'll turn on the 24 hours ago, I want to be sedated, and then there's this like, this music video scene of like Kyle Reese and the old T-101 like putting ammo in bullets. I mean, putting ammo in clips, I mean. And it's like they just look back and forth at each other, and Terminator can load the clip without looking at it, and he's just looking at Kyle Reese the whole time, and it's just like this is just like a 10 or 11-year-old just, oh, this is what I've always wanted to see in a Terminator movie. Terminator and Kyle Reese loading ammo clips, but the Terminator doesn't even have to look at the ammo clip. He can just, you know, have this stare down with Kyle Reese the whole time. Oh, what could make it better? And then his like 8-year-old sister's like, oh, put the Ramones in it, make it a music video. And it's just like, there were actually audience members that were like laughing, I think not laughing at it, but laughing, like enjoying it, and I'm like, whoa, you know, yeah, well, it's their right, but whatever. Obviously the whole stuff we all knew about from the second trailer or whatever, with just John Connor becoming like the enemy, was just, you know, you knew before you even saw it, which is just so lame that they put that in the trailer. You know, part of me wonders what I would have thought of this movie had that not been spoiled. But I probably would have thought, I mean, it's just, it would have been the same stupid movie, you know, so I probably would have thought the same stuff, like, oh, give me a break. I'm going to go 1 1/4 star for Terminator Genisys. It's just so lame. And so the reason for the two different hair colors, I was hoping there'd be 2 different Terminators in the movie, like, you know. But what happens is, obviously, you know, Terminator gets sent back. I can't even remember who sends back the Terminator that goes to Sarah Connor when she's a kid. If that was John Connor who did that, I can't remember if it's explained or not. But that one, you know, is the one in 1984 who's, you know, old, and then, you know, his arm gets ripped, or I mean his skin gets melted off his arm, his right arm, and some acid scene in 1984. And then, you know, this is so dumb because it's like they just constructed, like over the course of a decade or whatever, constructed just a homemade confab time machine, which is so stupid. It's like, yeah, we just went to Home Depot and got some time machine parts. It's like, give me a fucking break. So, like, you know, a decade or more, they you know, between the time that Terminator arrived when Sarah was a girl to 84, and Kyle Reese shows up, and Kyle Reese and Sarah, you know, take the time machine. I don't know if it's 2017 is the new Judgment Day or some shit. Oh, another thing in closing. You know, the whole Terminator Genisys, I mean, the Genisys in the movie is kind of like just this fucking big, stupid, like application, you know, like an Apple wannabe, just, you know, Internet of Everything bullshit. That's kind of what Skynet, as technology is progressing, they touched a little bit on that in 2003 with Terminator 3, but even more so now with Terminator Genisys. It's kind of like as technology and everything and the Internet of Everything gets closer and closer to being, that's kind of basically what in this movie Skynet is. It's kind of like this big huge worldwide program and whatever. I couldn't really follow all of it, but I mean, Genisys was the name of this, you know, program that's linked into everyone's tablets and phones and computers and just whatever, TVs and smart toilets and, you know, everything. There's just the kind of the Internet of Everything is basically Genisys in this movie, and is Skynet, and Genisys is like Skynet. You know, like I say, I mean, it's hard to, I can't take in every single plot point in the first viewings of a movie, even if it's stupid, just because that's one of my few limitations as a living organism. But I rewatched Terminator Salvation and Terminator 3 within the, you know, last week after watching this, seeing this, and, you know, Terminator Salvation is really stupid. I mean, there's like no point to it. I mean, it's got some really cool, you know, kind of cool action scenes and shit, but there's just that movie is just so pointless. And then having rewatched Terminator 3 within the last week, which is the first time I've seen it in maybe even 10 years or something like that, I was actually, it's funny because I thought Arnold looked old in Terminator 3 in 2003, and now, like, having seen him in 2014, new Terminator, he looks young in Terminator 3. It's just so crazy. And after watching Terminator Genisys, Terminator 3 plays like T2. It's just so much better, like, maybe not plot, but at least, like, for me, in my opinion, the set pieces and shit, like that big chase scene with the, you know, the Terminatrix, you know, controlling all the, you know, cop cars and shit, and the chase scene with the crane and she's driving. I mean, that's like that scene, that chase scene, action scene in Terminator 3 could, you know, actually be regarded as a worthwhile, like, action chase from a Terminator movie. I was really impressed having rewatched Terminator 3, and it was, you know, it was rated R, which was cool, and there was quite a bit of action, although, you know, some of it might have been, you know, dumb or whatever, but it's really weird how that's just an example of your perception. Like in 2003, Arnold looked old, and now when you look at Terminator 3 after seeing him in Genisys, he looks young, and it's just like, it blows your ass away. I hate the guy who plays John Connor in Terminator 3. He's just like, he's annoying, but 1 1/4 star. I don't even know why I'm giving it that, to be honest. Maybe because I like the beginning future stuff where we get to see what has only been talked about in the first movie, and the kind of the battle. I kind of like the battle. I think, you know, the battle between CG Arnold and now old Arnold is, in my opinion, one of the best scenes in the movie. It's just, none of the action in this movie just said Terminator to me. It just all said stupid, you know. It's just like I don't understand how movies like this that turn out this horribly are allowed to, you know, because granted, throughout the writing, pre-production, production, and post-production stages, a lot of time that passes. And you're telling me no one who, you know, pays the bills actually looks at it from inception to completion? I mean, and says, wait a sec, this is stupid. And very much like the humor in Terminator 3, which is like the talk to the hand. I mean, you got this eat me or whatever, or bite me shit. And it's very much like some of that, you know, lame-ass T3 humor, which is, you know, talk to the hand and shit. Which is not as bad as, like, I mean, that's pretty bad, but, like, bite me, I mean, that's just kind of dumb. And the whole thing that, you know, Sarah Connor calls it T101 Pops and all this kind of stuff. Oh, man. Major disappointment. Obviously, I shall not be going back to... I might see it at, like, a $1 budget theater if it comes there, just for fucking... Maybe not. I don't know. Oh, man. Why go see it again at all, even for $1, Nate? I don't know. Did I cover everything? That's my opinion of Terminator Genisys. I mean, shoot. I mean, like, before this even came out, you know, they want to do, like, what was it, 2 more of these or something? And it's like... I think that this won't, if there's any, you know, if there's any, whatchamacallit at all, what's it called? Justice. This will do, word of mouth will prohibit this movie from doing well enough to make a, you know, another one of these pathetic kind of, you know, 70-year-old Terminator shit, you know, where he's like loading bullets and then he goes, old. I mean, come on. You don't have to have the Terminator call itself old, for criminy sakes. So there you go. I tried to keep it short. I probably didn't. Thank you very much for watching my review of Terminator Genisys. And all I can say is hasta la vista, baby. I mean, this will probably be, if there's any justice, the last Terminator movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. His presence, once again, in closing, as the Terminator, was just like, his wardrobe was so lame, like just some kind of a Henley in this green army jacket, and it's just like, he had no, in my opinion, no presence as a Terminator, and the humor, like was showed in the trailer with the zzz. I mean, it was just badly rehashed humor from the, you know, the director's cut of T2, and it's just like, anything that was good about this movie was stuff that had been written in the first movie, like seeing them, like I said, the thing in the very beginning with the future, seeing them, you know, take down Skynet and send, you know, what's his name back in time and crap. So anyway, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to let me know. It's just exhausting to even think about this movie. Feel free to let me know what you think of Terminator Genisys. I'm not saying that anyone who likes it is a fool. I'm just saying that I don't like it. And in closing, I think we've seen this guy in my last Terminator Genisys trailer review. This is a 1992 toy from Terminator 2. And they didn't have motion sensor activated back then. It's got like 5 buttons on his back to press. He'll say different things. Unfortunately, there's no batteries in there. But this is really kind of cool. And like I said in the last video, he was featured in, the detail really sucks. But if you look at it with your eyes closed, it looks pretty cool. So thank you very much for watching, and what do you got to say? Hasta la vista, baby. Very cool. Thank you very much for watching, and you can be sure to catch me on my next movie review right here on this channel that is now 4 whopping years old. Thanks for watching.